Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Phyrefli's Video Digest. Thank you once again for listening and for watching the video. This week we have quite a number of different things for you, but in the background I've got another gameplay video. Once again, this was taken from Battlefield3Tournament.com's competition. This was recorded last Sunday, and it's the 6th of 6 games that we played. This one is on hardcore, and that's why when you see me spawn you'll see that my health tops out at 60%. It makes for quite a different game, I have to say. I don't normally play hardcore, it's not my favourite way of playing Battlefield 3 or, for that matter, Bad Company 2. But this was fun, it was a change, it was something different, and I think we all enjoyed it. So as I mentioned, this was the 6th game out of 6. We'd already won the previous 5, which of course always puts you in a rather good mood. And as I mentioned in a previous video, no YouTube commentator worth his salt is ever going to post up a video where he actually loses. Watch this one to the end because it gets very, very close, and you may find that the contrarian that I am, I actually do put something up that most people wouldn't. So what have we got on the list this week? Well, one of the big pieces of news was about everyone's favourite friend, and that's Demise99, or Alan Kurtz. He's left the Battlefield 3 team. Much rejoicing was held around the community. Now, a lot of people don't like Alan, and I've never really understood that. Yes, he's responsible for a lot of the decisions that have taken place within Battlefield 3, but it was also the same with Bad Company 2, and most people seem to believe that that game, after a year of patching and weapons tweaks and all the rest of it, actually ended up to be a very good game, relatively speaking. Demise was also a part of Battlefield 2142 as well, which, as you all know, in my personal opinion, is actually the best Battlefield game ever released. So I do find it a bit perplexing that a lot of people don't like him. But like him or not, you've got to give him credit for one thing, and I do admire him for this. He's gone toe-to-toe with the likes of Mordor on several occasions, and the guy's still standing. He's got a skin thicker than a rhino, and whether you agree with what he does or not, and whether you're happy that he's gone or not, you've got to admire somebody who's got the guts and the balls to go more toe-to-toe with Mordor and still stand after all of that. Absolutely cracking, and I wish him for the best with what he does in the future. As has been misreported, he has not left DICE. He's still around. Now, just watch the video. Nice example there of DICE's client side. If you actually were watching as I was talking there, you saw that I got the drop on him and started shooting first, but died first. That is a good example of why sometimes client-side hit detection is not one of the best things you'll ever see. As I'm talking through the video, I will stop from time to time and just mention some of the important things. And as I'm actually talking, if you watch the flags, you'll see we've got 3, they've got 2, we are up on tickets. At this point it was looking comfortable, and for the vast majority of the game it was looking comfortable as well. So, coming back to Alan, why people don't like him, I'm not 100% sure, but as I say, he's made some decisions the community don't like, fair enough. But what's he doing in the future? He's not left DICE, which really gives only 2 possibilities, or probable possibilities, he could be working on. One of them is Mass Effect 3. Now, I've never played the Mass Effect series, it's not something that floats my boat. But I know a lot of people do, I know a lot of people like it. The other possibility, and I hope, fingers crossed, but this is by far the biggest possibility, that it's working on Battlefield 2143. As you'll probably know, there have been some little hints about 2143 found on some of the maps. What DICE have been doing is placing little plaques saying BF2143 or just 2143 on 1 or 2 maps, and they did the same thing in Battlefield 2 before 2142 was released. If they bring out 2143 with Frostbite, all my prayers will be answered, and I'll be playing that game from dawn until dusk. One of the other things that's been around for a while now is Realmware's tools, and specifically the FXAA, or the injector. This has been questioned by quite a lot of people as to whether or not it will work with Punkbuster. It's been working now for personally I don't use it, but it's been working now for several weeks, and to the best of my knowledge, nobody has yet reported an issue with Punkbuster being kicked or banned by Punkbuster through using this. Basically what it does, it's an additional tool which makes Battlefield 3 look a lot better. It gets rid of a lot of the jaggies. It's, I believe, gets rid of quite a bit of the blue tinted as well, and overall makes it a much better looking game. Now I have to say I believe, because although I've seen the pictures and the videos, I've not tried it myself simply because I don't want to get any issues with Punkbuster. There are a couple of other tools that they've released as well, one of them which is really interesting, and that's the config editor. It gives you access to a lot of controls that are behind the scenes that you don't see in Battlefield 3, so you can control an awful lot more things, and you can also do some additional mouse bindings as well. So I'll put up the link to that in the description. The organisation that's produced it is Realmware, and kudos to those guys for actually getting off their ass and producing something which has been really helpful for a lot of people. Last week, or rather the last digest, and the digest before that, I mentioned metabands. Now, as I promised, what I will be doing is to produce a how-to video for metabands. But I just wanted to touch on two things with regards to that project. The first is, if you donated to them, thank you very, very much. They've now got enough money for a full-blown server for 3 months, which is actually up now. The project is going from strength to strength. There's a lot of new admins on there. There's a lot of people who are hackers being banned off different servers, so good news on that. The second thing is to remember, metabans, like any service, of course, can be abused, but it's down to the individual people and the individual players. You can follow another admin, you can choose not to follow another admin. Just because an admin bans a person on a server doesn't mean it's going to be banned on your server. If you're using metabans, you have to follow that admin. Plus, you can protect your own players. So for example, you can protect all your own clanmates, so even if they're banned on the server of an admin that you're following, they will not be banned on your server. It is, in my opinion, a very good complementary service to things like PB bans and also to GGC script streaming. So if you've not checked it out, it's metabands.com. It's up and running. Server admins can use it. You don't need to pay or anything like that, although if you want to give a donation, do feel free. It's a superb service and another complement, another tool in the arsenal that server admins have to deal with hackers, who, as we all know, and I've said this more times than I care to remember, have small penises. And for the one person that actually called me a troll on the comments of the last video that mentioned that, I would just like to say to you that I will continue to make anatomical jokes about hackers as long as they continue to ruin people's games. Deal with it. One of the other things that happened last week was rather embarrassing for EA and DICE, and that was the fact that one of their volunteer mods on Battlelog was caught hacking. Now this guy's current name is Mr. Proper 777, and yes, technically that's a name and shame, bollocks to it. An affirmed hacker. He was a mod on Battlelog. In fact, if you go and have a look at his stats now on his page on Battlelog, you see they've been reset. He's not been online for 5 days at the time I'm recording this, so I'm assuming that he's just simply been kicked off. But even then he's got a mention on there that says he's not hacking. Bollocks. There was quite an uproar about this, especially in Mordor and on Battlelog. Now, as you know, Mordor is my pet name and a lot of people's pet name for the EA UK forums. And if you're a denizen of that forum, you may remember what I'd like to call the Night of the Long Knives. That was that 24-hour period when everybody got up in arms about the whole PWP debacle, where DICE, for some reason which to this day I still don't understand, had several different options of bonuses for when you pre-order Battlefield 3 spread across several different countries and retailers. For example, I'm based in Spain. I bought Battlefield 3 on Origin. I didn't get a pre-order bonus. What's that about? I'm using Origin, I'm buying it direct from DICE and EA. Why am I not getting a pre-order bonus? What I had to do in the end was to cancel my order, which I'd placed back in about May of last year, reorder it so that I could get PWP and back to Cock Hand. It was a crazy way of doing things. What the community did then was really band together in a huge uproar and effectively forced DICE to give everyone the same thing. That worked, and that was a positive thing. That's the community working together to get what it really deserves. But I also think it may have given some of our members a little bit of megalomania, Yes, we pushed them hard. We did the same thing on the Comoros, and we got the Comoros in. But DICE may have actually just shortened a bit of a rope there for their own neck, because now I do start to wonder if a lot of people in the community turn around and think, well, if we've done it with PWP, and we've done it with the Comoros, could we do it with something else? Let's not take it too far, guys. We focus on the important things. Let's get the important things done. Squad VoIP, a much better Comoros. And then we can make Battlefield Get 3 the game it really should be. Just touching back on Battlefield 2143 again, some of you may have noticed that Pixel Enemy made a bit of a boo-boo. They put a video up on YouTube which was a bit of a, I don't want to use the word scam, but it was slightly deceptive, and it said it was the Battlefield 2143 gameplay intro, or the intro for that game. If you actually click on that specific video now, I'll read out what it says on YouTube. This video has been removed as a violation of YouTube's policy against spam, scams and commercially deceptive content. Sorry about that. So it looks like Pixel Enemy got the knuckles wraps for putting that up, and maybe not a smart thing for them to do. It's a shame, because 2142, like I said, I'm personally very much looking forward to, and I know that a lot of the community is. So, DICE, if any of you guys are listening to this, any of you devs, and you are secretly working on 2143, if you want to tell me, I promise I won't tell anybody else. But even if you can't tell me, if you are working on it, make it a good game, guys. Work hard, make it a better game than BF3 was. Get that team play aspect in there and squad play. For the love of God, please get squad VoIP in there. And as I say, make it a true heir to 2142. As I mentioned at the beginning, what you're watching in the background is the 6th game of Battlefield 3 Tournament.com's matches last Sunday.
Just been repaired.
We won the last 5, this is number 6. Now, one thing I would like to do is give a quick shout out to a gentleman called Moist Sword. Unfortunate name, but a good player. The rat bastard managed to get my tags in round 2. So a major congratulations to you for that. A little bit of immortality, I believe. And I shall be after you this weekend, my friend. And also one question which I did get from on the comments page from one user, who was asking why there's blank bars on the side of the recording. All my gameplay recordings are recorded at 1920 by 1200 resolution. They're not 1920 by 1080p. So to view it properly, what you need to do is to click on YouTube when you're watching it, click on the size where it says 360p, and at the top of that list you'll see original size. That is 1920 by 1200. You'll see the game I've recorded in all its glory. It's not recorded at 1080p, it's a slightly higher resolution than that. Now on to the topic of videos. Evil Viking 13, you may remember, released a video a few weeks ago, actually probably a couple of months ago now, of Silence in the Storm, which was a fantastic slow-mo video of Battlefield 3. He's recorded this without the UI. I think he spent 2 weeks recording this video. Absolutely stunning video. He's released part 2 about this week. Now part 2 is not quite as good as the original, I have to say. Some of the Twixtor effects in there are not quite as good. There are some frame drops, and for some reason I can't understand, he's sharpened the image so it doesn't look quite as good as what it did before. However, it's still a very, very good video. The intro to it, I have to say, is stunning. He's put a lot of effort and love and attention on that video. I strongly recommend you watch it. I'll put the link to it in the description for this one. Please take a look. Please like his video. As I say, he's put a lot of effort into that. It's absolutely stunning. And whilst you're at it, have a look at his entry into the BF3 Moments video competition. That is a work of art. I have to put my hand up and hold my hand out to him. He's created a fantastic video. Now, if you watch the gameplay video in the that's on now, you'll see we've got 53 tickets. The enemy's got 22. At this point, as I was playing the video, I'm kind of thinking to myself, yeah, we've got this. It's 6-0. We've overrun. We rock. We win. Nah, 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 nah. Just carry on making sure you watch the gameplay video and see what happens.
Yeah.
On to pretty much the last thing that I wanted to talk about today. As you know, esports is one of the things that I enjoy from a ground level. The games such as the one you're watching now, 32 versus 32. But what I noticed the other day on BattleFieldO.com's website was a link to an Epsilon versus Rival video, which was Squad Rush. Now, fortunately it's on Operation Metro, but this is 4 versus 4 Squad Rush, and this is at a highly competitive level. Epsilon have been around for quite a while. It's a name that I know. Rival is not a name that I know. So they've got a video recording up there. I'd like to say thanks to BattleFieldO.com for posting that up. I'll post a direct link on the description of this video here so that you can watch that. It's not the most entertaining video in the world, but I always love watching things like that because it shows you the competitive side of Battlefield 3. And if we had things like spectator mode and battle recorder, that side of Battlefield 3 really would take off. Unfortunately, it's not. Anyway, that's the end of the game. That's the end of my time. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you sub, as always, I will check to see what your channel's like, and if it's a good channel, I'll sub back to you. And a major thank you to everyone that subbed off my last video. I watched every single channel. I watched every single channel. Sub to quite a number of them. To those of you that are recording and making your own Battlefield 3 videos, keep at it. It's a great community. It's great to watch. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching the video and listening to me, and take care.